Okay, hi guys. The lighting in my house is pretty bad right now in the living room, so I hope you could see this book clearly. We love this book. It's called A Thread of Kindness, a tzedakah story by Leah Pearl Schaller and illustrated by Shoshana McAville. In old Constantinople, there lived a poor farmer named Avram. One day, the farmer came home to find his wife, Esther, sewing patches on his shirt that had more holes than cloth. In and out went the needle and thread. Good morning, Avram. I know, but then they lost it, so she asked me to send it again. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Avram, she said. Oh, Esther, he sighed. It makes me sad to see you work so hard. If only we still had a fine home and maids to help you. Esther smiled. My dear husband, these two small rooms are full of as much warmth and happiness as the many rooms we used to have. As Esther stood up to call the children in for breakfast, the spool of thread fell from her lap and landed on the floor. Avram bent down to pick it up and gazed at it for a moment. If only Hashem would throw us a thread of kindness, I would catch hold of it and pass it on to others. Hanani, it's hard for me to hold you and also hold the phone and also read at the same time. Okay? So just wait. I'm going to hold you soon. If you can't see, the thread is going all the way there until then. Their boys, who had been digging a vegetable garden in the front yard, tumbled in with dusty faces and hands, all hungry for breakfast. Most of all, Avram, we are blessed with beautiful children, worth more than all the riches in the world. Avram looked at their children. You are right, Esther, but I worry that they might go hungry. But that's how they washed their hands, because they didn't have a sink like we have, right? That water, running water. I don't even know how to plow or plant. Remember, Hashem is with you, Avram, even as you farm the land. Avram and their oldest son Yehuda went off to the field. High overhead, the sun made the air as hot and dry as an oven. Yehuda worked quietly, removing stones and pebbles from the earth. Avram struggled with the plow and wondered if he'd ever be able to afford an animal to do all that heavy work. Suddenly, he noticed an old man leaning on a walking stick. The old man was watching him. Peace unto you. And peace unto you, replied Avram. It is a hot day, is it not? Said the old man. Yes, said Avram, continuing his work. What would you say if I told you that you will not have to work so hard? The one above will bless you with 6 years of wealth. Avram sighed. Oh, if only that would be so. The old man stared deeply into Avram's eyes. Believe what I say. The one above is blessing you with 6 years of wealth. Do you want it now or in your old age? Yehuda leaned close to his father. Abba, he whispered. Perhaps this man is really Eliyahu Navi. We should answer him. Avram thought of his wife Esther, whose faith in Hashem's kindness was so strong. What would she say? Would she want the 6 years of riches now? Would she rather wait until they were old and could not work so hard? Avram turned to the old man. I'd like to ask my wife. The old man nodded. I'll wait here. Avram handed his water jug to the old man and settled him down in the shade of a tree. He and his son hurried to the house. Quickly, Avram told Esther the whole story. Esther was silent for a few moments. Then she said, Go back and tell the old man that we would like the 6 years of goodness now. Avram nodded and returned to the field with Yehuda. When the old man saw them approaching, he stood up and smiled. Well, if you please, my wife says to ask the one above for the 6 years of blessing now, said Avram. The old man smiled even more broadly. Return to your home, he directed. When your foot reaches the gates of your front yard, you will see that Hashem's blessing has already come true. Then the old man turned and was gone. Avram began walking very slowly. What if he returned home and nothing had changed? But Yehuda couldn't wait to see the riches they were promised. He held his father's hand and tried to go faster. As they reached their front yard, Esther came running out of the doorway. Her eyes sparkled. Avram, can you guess? So the blessing has come true, said Avram. Yes. The boys were digging in the garden when they found a chest of gold coins. She led him to the spot where the chest lay. Hananya, close the door. Hananya, close the door, please. Avram and Yehuda each took a side of the heavy chest and heaved it up and into the house. The light from the glittering coins filled the room. Baruch Hashem, whispered Avram. We can do so much with this money. He looked at Esther. Let's get maids to help you in the house and new clothing for everyone. The children hugged their father and their mother. Think how much candy we can buy with a gold coin, said their youngest son. I am thinking, said Esther. Hashem has given us a thread of kindness. This money is ours for just a while. If we spend it on clothing and candy, it will soon be gone. But if we help others, the thread of kindness will stretch on forever. That very week, they made a feast to thank Hashem and invited the whole neighborhood to share in their joy. The widow, Mrs. Ben Sadon, was there. Her son was almost 13. Esther opened the chest and put 5 golden coins into Mrs. Ben Sadon's apron. Use this for the bar mitzvah celebration and for the tefillin, she said. Yehuda whispered, Ima, if we buy tefillin for all the poor boys in town, will there be money left for all the pairs of tefillin that we will need? Esther smiled at Yehuda. Remember, the money is ours only for a while, but a thread of kindness stretches on forever. As the last of the guests were leaving, Avram noticed Moshe Elbaz. He was engaged to Bracha, but they had no money for a wedding. Avram scooped out 2 handfuls of gold coins and gave them to Moshe. Now Esther's youngest son looked worried. Ima, why are you and Abba giving away all our money? Esther bent down to look into his eyes. Remember, the money is ours only for a while, but a thread of kindness stretches on forever. The next day, Yehuda saw Chava Naaman's little boy playing outside barefoot. Yehuda ran home to ask his mother for a gold coin. That night, a brand new pair of shoes mysteriously appeared on the Naaman's doorstep. Every day, the family helped someone in need. With each kind act and with every generous gift, Esther would tell her children, a thread of kindness stretches on forever. 6 years passed swiftly by, filled as they were with caring for others. One day, Avram and Yehuda were in the field. Now both rode on carts as sturdy oxen plowed the earth for the planting season. Suddenly, appearing as if out of nowhere, stood the old man. Peace unto you, he said. At once, Avram stopped his cart, climbed down, and bowed his head. And peace to you, he replied. The 6 years were up. Would they become poor again? Would they no longer be able to help others? Would they go back to eating only bread and milk at every meal? The time has come to return that which the one above has given you, said the old man. Avram took a deep breath. I accepted the gift after asking my wife. May I talk to her again before I return it? The old man nodded and said, I will come with you. When Esther greeted them at the door, she didn't seem at all surprised to see the old man. Esther, said Avram, our guest has told me that the time has come to return the treasure. Esther thought for a moment before she spoke. Hashem's gift has done so much good for so many. The thread of kindness has stretched out to give blankets to the sick, food to the hungry, and happiness to poor brides. If you can find another family who will share this gift more than we have, then do take it back. The old man smiled. You have spoken wisely. Because of all the good you have done, the riches will remain with you. The old man turned and disappeared, but the treasure remained theirs to share. It stayed with Avram and Esther, with their children and their children's children, and the thread of kindness stretches on to this very day.